Taehyung didn't realize the camera was still on, but Jungkook suddenly approached and did this. Tense moments took place in HYB's last live before departure to Switzerland. What the cameras witnessed made ARMY cry and wonder what was really going on behind the scenes. Taehyung didn't realize the camera was on. What did Jungkook do that surprised you? Can an accidental moment reveal the deepest feelings that have been neatly hidden? Is it possible to tell the truth that has never been told? And is the camera, which should only be a silent witness, instead a secret whistle that is involuntarily blown? These questions echoed loudly in the minds of the ARMY around the world after a snippet of a video from HYB's last live went viral. Not because of the concept, not because of her comeback, but because of a moment of silence, which was just too loud. It all started with calm. Live is no different than any other. BTS members sat in HYB's room, sharing stories, laughing, joking lightly, talking about plans for the future. But nobody expected that in the last seconds before the broadcast was turned off, when everyone thought that the cameras were no longer on, something happened. And unlike usual, this time it wasn't a joke or a gimmick, but a small act that left a big question mark. What does Jungkook really feel about Taehyung, and why did he choose that moment to show it? Taehyung, who was looking down at his phone, seemed unaware of anything. There was no hesitation in his movements. He chuckled, nodded to the staff passing by, corrected his hat, then turned to Jungkook, and that's where it all changed. In the video, which has now been replayed millions of times on various social media platforms, Jungkook's expression clearly changed just before he stepped closer. Not a big move, not even loud words, but the gesture was very personal. He touched Taehyung's shoulder gently, almost like a silent gesture, as if to say something that cannot be expressed in words. His gaze was full of pressure, like holding back something emotion, guilt, or just a feeling that never had room to grow. The camera left in standby mode still records, albeit without sound. But the visuals are more than enough to make thousands of ARMY ask, what was Jungkook whispering back then? Why did Taehyung look surprised, then lowered his head quickly? What was even more surprising was after that. Jungkook, with a quick step, got out of the frame and left.
No goodbye.
No waving. And a few minutes later, the live really ended. But the moment was captured enough to be the subject of discussion, debate, even tears. Hashtags such as hashtag Jungkook to Taehyung, hashtag camera was still on, to hashtag what AK say immediately trending. Theories emerge. Fans began to unpack each previous live, looking for clues that may have been missed. Is this related to Jungkook's departure to Switzerland? Or maybe something more personal and emotional farewell that never got to be officially said? Why has Taehyung looked so different since then? And is all this really accidental? Or was it intentional but not planned? One thing that couldn't be overlooked was Taehyung's facial expression afterwards. As the camera changed angles, Taehyung sat back alone. No more smiling. No more humming. He stared at his phone screen, then wiped the bottom of his eyes as if he wanted to erase something. Were those tears he didn't want to see? And how could the camera stay on? HYB staff are usually very strict in arranging live sessions. Why do they seem so quiet this time? Or do they know something we don't? Some fans believe that this is the most frank moment ever captured on camera. Not engineered, not for fan service, but rather a real reflection of something that has been buried for too long. Jungkook is known as someone whose expression is difficult to read. But this time, even those who are not fans could see that there was something heavy behind his eyes. A farewell? A regret? Or a promise never to be fulfilled? On the other hand, Taehyung from then on also looked different. The interview is shorter. The answer is shorter. Some fans even caught him dodging questions that mentioned Jungkook's name. And when asked about Jungkook's departure to Switzerland, he only replied with a small smile, without elaboration.
Why?
Is he hiding something? Or trying to protect someone? Even more heartwarming is the fact that these seconds take place in HYB's room, where all BTS memories are born and grow. And this moment happened in the last live before an important departure. Possibly, this is a farewell gesture that can only be understood by those who are really paying attention. A farewell that can only be conveyed through a brief touch and a look. Now, The public is wondering, will there be any clarification? Will Jungkook talk? Will Taehyung respond in song? Or will he remain silent forever? Will HYB cut that part from the official replay? Or is it a part of history that cannot be erased? Deeper still, this incident made many people reflect. How many things do we really not see behind their smiles? How often do cameras turn on without us noticing and record truths that are too silent to hear? ARMY now lives in two emotional poles: unstoppable curiosity and stifling emotion. Some asked for an explanation, some chose to respect their privacy. But one thing is certain, that moment has changed everything. And the biggest question of all, if the camera does not turn on, will we still never know what really happened between Jungkook and Taehyung? However, the question does not stop there. Because the more fans dig, the deeper this puzzle opens up. It's not just the live that comes back into the spotlight, but also the old broadcasts that feature Jungkook and Taehyung's interactions, especially those that happen spontaneously, without scenarios, without gimmicks. And the more it was noticed, the clearer it became that their relationship was not just group mates, not just ordinary friends. There is something that has always been kept in silence. But that accidental moment seemed to leak everything. Some of the ARMY even managed to find another live cut a few weeks earlier, when Taehyung had said quietly, "Sometimes I feel like someone wants to say something, but doesn't know how." At that moment, Jungkook just smiled a little, not responding. But now, that sentence feels like a sad prologue from the last seconds in HYB. And who would have thought? Jungkook's departure to Switzerland, which should be happy news, was accompanied by emotional speculation that had never been imagined before. Fans began to ask, is this trip an attempt to distance themselves from something too close? Is it about a career or about feelings? Because in the world of K-pop, where everything has to be neat, restrained, and according to the scenario, emotional honesty is something expensive and dangerous. Moreover, a few hours after the live ended, Jungkook uploaded a photo on Weverse. But what was interesting was not the photo, but the caption. Simple but thrilling. "Sorry if I was too quiet earlier, but I really want you to know. There is no name. There is no context. But everyone knows to whom the message is addressed." Not long after, Taehyung responded, not in writing, but to a song he sang a cappella on his Instagram story. The song was a cut from Let Me Know, one of BTS' most emotional songs, and the line he sang was, "Don't want to be without you." He looked at the camera with teary eyes, then quickly turned off the camera. And it all happened the same day. How could this be just a coincidence? How can all these signs appear at the same time, involuntarily? And if there really is something they want to say, why go through gestures? Why not express it directly? HYB himself did not give an official statement. They simply removed the live replays from the main channel and replaced them with cropped versions. That moment of shoulder touch is gone. But of course, the internet did not forget. The footage has been spread, re-uploaded, dissected frame by armies around the world. Some even slowed the video down to 0.25x just to capture their eye movements, an incredible effort to find answers to questions that were never officially asked. And it's not just about casual interactions. It's about a moment of honesty in a world full of filters. A world that often forces idols to cover their wounds with smiles, hiding tears behind laughter. But at that second, the camera didn't lie to us. The camera actually shows something more honest than words. Fans who have followed BTS since their debut know that the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung has gone through many dynamics: close, distant, reunited, taking care of each other, then silence. But the silence this time felt different. Silence that seemed full of meaning. And when the silence was leaked by the camera, we all got carried away in his emotions. Not a few people equate this moment with other emotional moments in BTS history, such as when Jungkook cried at a concert because he couldn't bear the emotional burden, or when Taehyung wrote a long letter to the other members that made everyone cry backstage. But this time, this happened without words, without a stage, without a script. Meanwhile, Jungkook's departure to Switzerland became a drama in itself. He left alone, without a formal farewell at the airport as usual. No group photos, no big smiles. There are only serious faces and quick steps. As if he didn't want anyone to know, or as if he carried something heavy inside him. Some sources say Jungkook's departure is part of a special project with a global brand that he is endorsing. But even the official explanation was not able to remove the questions that hung in the air. Especially since Taehyung himself was not present at the airport, did not give a farewell message, did not even upload anything related. Behind the scenes of the Korean entertainment world that is orderly, neat, and full of restrictions, unplanned seconds are proof that idols including Jungkook and Taehyung are still ordinary people. The moment that happened without that script is now a turning point. It could even be the most honest point ever shown by two best friends who have gone through everything from trainee days, through stressful debuts, to becoming world stars. After the live incident spread widely, the ARMY around the world did not stand still. On Twitter, Instagram, and even community forums like the Weverse, and Reddit, thousands of long threads appear dissecting every movement, expression, even camera position and lighting. Some even analyzed the shooting time using the original video's metadata before deleting. And the deeper they dive, the more questions arise. Why did Taehyung look stiff after that touch? Does he already know Jungkook's intentions? Or is he just not ready to accept them? There was a small moment, barely perceptible to the ordinary eye, as Taehyung lowered his head and took a deep breath, his lips visibly quivering before he wiped the bottom of his eyes. Isn't that like someone holding back something they're dying to spill? And what about Jungkook? Why did he leave the room immediately after touching Taehyung's shoulder? Some ARMY convinced that it was not an impulsive act. There are many who believe that Jungkook has been preparing for that moment, waiting for the right time to reveal something. But when he finally does, maybe his feelings are too big to control. She chose not to cry in front of the camera. Maybe because it was the only way he could show honesty without words. Hours after his departure for Switzerland, media captured Jungkook at Zurich airport with his face covered in a mask and hoodie. He refused the interview, not even turning his head when the reporter mentioned Taehyung's name. His eyes looked heavy, different from usual. Is it a burden due to an unfinished breakup? Or because of something deeper that's been buried for too long? Even more interesting, a few days after Jungkook arrived in Switzerland, his Spotify account updated his personal playlist with some meaningful songs. One of them is Lewis Capaldi's Someone You Loved, a song about loss, silence, and regret. ARMY immediately realized this gesture is not without reason. Each of his lyrics seemed to describe a feeling that never had time to be said directly. And why did Jungkook choose that song? Why right after a live moment with Taehyung? This condition further deepened the feeling of many fans that something big was happening. They're no longer just watching ordinary intermember interactions. They witnessed two souls struggling to navigate emotions under the spotlight of the world, in the midst of boundaries that not everyone can understand. And precisely because of that, the moment felt so heartbreaking. Meanwhile, Taehyung himself did not remain silent. Although he did not give a direct statement, he uploaded a black and white photo of himself a few days after Jungkook's departure. Behind the window, with a cloudy sky in the background, the caption was just one word: still. There's not much to interpret, but for the ARMY, that one word holds many possibilities. Does that mean he's still waiting? Still keep the taste? Or is it still holding it all alone? Within the international fanbase, hashtags such as hashtag Jungkook Whisper, hashtag Taekook Last Live, and hashtag Camera Unmuted continue to rise. Some fans even created fan art based on the moment. Hundreds of fan videos circulating, with background songs touching the heart. Not a few also wrote long theories on TikTok about what really happened, linking it all to the lyrics of Taehyung and Jungkook's solo songs respectively. One theory that went viral was that the moment was the conclusion of a long story that was never verbally told by them. Some believe that Jungkook's song, Still With You, written by him himself, holds a hidden message for Taehyung. Lyrics such as, "I want to hold your hand and go to the other side of the earth," now feel as if they are talking directly about the departure of Switzerland and the desire not to part. Meanwhile, Taehyung's song Winter Bear is also back. The song, which is quiet, silent, and harbors feelings of longing, is now being played back by fans who believe that it is not an ordinary song, but an expression of longing for someone who cannot be together. And when these two songs are compared, it feels like there is a mutual dialogue behind the verses. Now, it all feels like a tight puzzle. But precisely because it is not pronounced, the taste becomes deeper, more real, more painful, and even the army can only speculate. Is this the beginning of the end? Or is it just the end of a too long denial? Will we see them back together in a song, alive, or maybe in silence? Even more thrilling is the feeling that all of this may never be clarified directly. Because in their world, not all emotions can be shared publicly. Not all feelings have a place to celebrate. And not all truth can be revealed. But precisely because of this, those involuntary seconds become the only witnesses that, perhaps, love does not always have to be spoken. One thing is certain. This moment will be remembered. Will continue to be remembered. Will continue to search for meaning.